In this video, I just want to show you how you can use GeoClerk to set up a spatial search and do some very basic searching across a new area or a new tenement. So you might want to do this if you're applying for a tenement area or you've just been awarded one. One of the first things you do is jump into the historical archives, see what information there is on what's been done before, pull out drilling results, that sort of thing. So to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is set up my area. So jump over to My Shapes, scroll down to the bottom and click on Add a New Shape. And then I'm just going to switch on the mineral tenements, quickly zoom into an area. So I'm going to choose this E29-1216 area, which is under application. The quickest way to get the tenement into GeoClerk now is just to click Quicksearch and start typing the tenement name. So 29/1216, there it is. So it populates those coordinates into the box. I'm going to share that with my organization so anyone else in the company can also look across it. Click Save Shape, and there it is in my list, E29-1216. There's a few options next to it. Search, which I'll do in a moment. Docs, which provides a spatial or a look at the spatial information that's coming from all the documents intersecting with that shape. A summary CSV of all the documents that are intersecting with it. It's presented in order of spatial relevance, and the combination of those two in a shapefile. So you can see the shapes for all the documents, but also the attribute table will be the list of documents. But I'm just going to do a straightforward search at this stage. So I just click Search. It goes off and presents me back with all the images from the documents that have spatial intersection with the shape that I've searched, in order of spatial relevance. So the ones that have the biggest intersection with the shape are going to be shown first. You can see the shape down in the bottom left, so we know that there is a spatial filter active. So for the purposes of this, I'm just going to see if there's any geochemistry maps, which would show if there's any drilling or assays that have been taken in the area. Immediately I can see this map here, which if I click on the spatial data is right next to the area that I'm searching. It's not directly, potentially directly over it, but it's very close by. So you might want to take a look at those assays and those drilling results. Firstly, you can georeference the map. So I could just click the georeference button. Because there's spatial information, puts me right into the correct location. Or roughly the correct location. And then I can just, because there's a grid on this image, I can use the control points to set those grid. I'm not going to do that because it takes a few seconds, but you can very quickly georeference that image and see whether those drilling locations are exactly where they are exactly on the map. Because might be interested in looking to see what those drilling results are. I can't quite read the map, so I'm just going to double click to see, have it in a little bit more detail. So there's these BDRC drill collars. I might want to look through the system to see if there are any results from those drilling. So I'm just going to type BDRC hash. The hash is a numerical wildcard, so it's going to pull back anything which has the string BDRC and then followed by any numbers. So click go for that. There's only the one geochemistry map, which is the one we're looking at. And there's also a table, which in this case shows some copper intersections. It's just a summary across, in this case, for the 7 drill holes. Now, as well as looking at those specific drill holes, I might want to look and see if there's any reports of any particular commodity. So I might want to look across, see if there's any reports of gold grade. Grade is a search expansion, as is gold. So gold will search for gold and AU. Grade will search for ppm, ppb, percentage, grams per ton, that sort of thing. So if I click on gold grade, and I'm still in the tables, so I can now very quickly see if there are tables of assay results, drilling results, that sort of thing. I can see that there are. Very quick to double click to see what exactly there are. So we've got some drilling results there. We've got some much more in-depth results from some sample numbers there. And any of the drilling those results in tables, we could click on the Get CSV button to download a CSV file. So I could very quickly grab those three and concatenate them into a single CSV file. Another thing that's going to be something that you probably want to do in a new area is looking to get a summary of all the work that's been done. And GeoBot is the perfect tool to do that. So if we just click over to, well, first of all, we'll take out the gold grade and just research without the gold grade as a filter in there, and then go over to GeoBot. And this is our generative AI tool. So you can just type in a question here and ask the GeoBot to give me an answer to that question. So I'm just going to ask it to summarize the exploration history of this area. It knows what "of this area" means because we have a spatial filter active on this search. So what happens now is the GeoBot performs a search, pulls out the 50 most relevant pages from its search, or up to the 50 most relevant pages, sends those off to the AI, which then formulates a response and sends it back to GeoBot. So here's the result. Because we've asked for a history, it's put it into sort of year order. So we've got some initial exploration. Doesn't matter what the tenement IDs are, even the fact they've changed over the years. Because we're just doing a spatial search, it's just going to pull back all the information or that intersects with that area. And importantly, each time it presents us with some information, it also presents us with a link to the document that it got that information from and where in that document it is. So here was a summary of previous exploration for that particular area. So it's very quick to fact check any of that area. I could ask it what the what is the geology of this area, to get a quick handle on what the major geological information is in this area. Ask the GeoBot to do that, and this can often be useful information to put into annual reports that you'd have to do for the tenement, and so you can just use the GeoBot to create a summary of previous work for you. But very quick to have a look and see what's been done before and get it to summarize you in an easy to read way with the links back to the documents. So there we have that. So GeoBot can be very useful for that. So hopefully that's given you a very quick overview of how you might set up a new tenement or a new shape and then do some very basic searches across it.